Hello again, my name is Brian Garinger, President and CEO of First and Service Staffing Solutions. Hope you're having a great day, hope you're having a great week, and hope you're excited and looking forward to what your week have ahead of you. I want to spend a little time tonight talking about managing your money like the rich. And I want to say that, talk to you guys and just run a few concepts or ideas by you. And I'm going to say this based on perspectives that I've learned from people that have gone ahead of me and people that I've watched succeed. And one of the things I want to encourage you on that is to make sure that you have people in your life that are going ahead of you, that are past you. See, too many people, what they do is instead of talking to people that have gone ahead of them, they let their ego hold them back. And what they do is they just associate themselves with people that are in the same hemisphere, the same, not hemisphere, bad choice of words, but the same location in life they are. And how are you ever going to advance? And I'm going to tell you something. When you talk about managing money like the rich, there are things that wealthy people do to make money, to keep money, that a lot of other people don't do. And the only way you're going to find that out is get around some people that are wealthy and have already been there. And here's what I want to tell you this as well, that there are people out there that have succeeded in many different areas of life, and they would love to be able to share with you and help you in these areas, but you've got to be willing to ask. You can't let fear stand in the way. And if you ask one and they're not willing to help you, then find somebody else that will. Also, find time, go on the web, look some searches, do a lot of YouTube videos, find people you enjoy listening to and hearing and learning from. But a couple things I want to talk to you about managing money. Number one is this. You need to do your best to keep your debt low. Now, there's a couple perspectives of debt though. One is debt low. Well, debt low for consumer debt, things you don't necessarily need. But on the side of business, a lot of times you might need to accumulate some debt, but good debt, in order to purchase things that are going to help move ahead. Like a good buddy of mine who's investing in homes and flipping homes. He's using bank money in order, so it is debt, but it's good debt. It's not new television debt, not 5 vacations a year debt, not most expensive car to impress people debt. There are so many people that are driving cars they have no right to be driving, but they're driving to impress everybody else, and the problem is nobody else is ever going to help them, give them anything. Nobody's ever going to support you. That friend of yours driving down the road and thinks you're so cool. You know, I'll give you an example. I was in South Beach a couple years back, and I thought it was so funny. People are spending, they're renting Lamborghinis for $350 an hour to drive down the strip in South Beach with their cell phones held up, taking selfies of themselves. Everyone knows it's not their car because the real owners are not selfieing with those, and they're doing that. I looked at the person I was with and I said, listen, if I was going to be driving that car, I'd be on the main highways seeing what it really could do. I'm not going to try and impress others. And I think that's where people get so caught up. They're so busy impressing others when it comes to be able to have money that they can invest in themselves, invest for education, invest in other business ideas, invest in things like real estate, invest in stocks and bonds, invest in things like that mean a difference. You know what it is? They're not doing it because their money is so tied up in other things that aren't going to help them. So here's what when I say about managing money like the rich. Here's one of the things I'm going to ask you to do right away. Get over yourself. Stop caring what other people are thinking about what you're driving, how you're living, where you're going on vacation, and start thinking about you. Start thinking about your family, your future family, people that matter to you, not the outsiders who don't mean anything to you, that might never know you, or your broke buddy who is driving something that he really can't afford, and you think he can, and he or she probably can't. And you know what, even if they can, what does that help you? It's like, we just had some things going on right now with the baseball teams, and all of my friends are Yankee fans, and they were excited when they won a game and down when they lost a game. Listen, I get it. I'm not a huge sports fan, so actually it's hard for me to understand that, but you can't let that stuff hold you back. And I'm high one day, I'm excited, I'm low another day. So managing money like the rich, number one, is looking about where you're spending your money, how you're spending your money, what are you doing with your money, so you have money to put back in places like this for yourself, to be able to take care of yourself. You know, now here's some things. We've all gotten involved in some consumer debt that, truthfully, right now it'd be great. Maybe you can't get out of it. Maybe you're dug into some holes. Okay, so now if you're dug into some holes, come up with a plan. what could that plan be? To have a plan to be able to do things to get out of debt. And we can talk about that more in depth. And listen, comment on here. If you have questions and ask questions, comment, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Answer anything I can. Maybe refer you to other people that have more expertise in it than I do. But the key is getting rid of that ego. Really willing to manage your money smart. So you know what? When you can buy, the day comes when you can buy things the right way. And the right way is when you're not doing it with consumer debt that nooses you. And when, it's like, I don't know if you ever bought a car before, and within the first 6 months you have payments, you're like, oh my God, I don't like this car anymore. I don't want it anymore. But you're stuck with it for a period of time because you didn't think through the purchases. So again, another thing rich people do when they manage money is they think through a purchase. They don't do a purchase just because it's an emotional being. A buddy of mine told me one time, he goes, the challenge with a lot of people is their emotions are on their fingertips. Ooh, how does that feel? Ooh, does this feel good? Does that not feel good? What is the feeling? Well, you know what? We sometimes got to get over the feeling of everything, and we got to rationally think things through, because I'm going to tell you something. Rich people, now, true rich people, not the person who grabbed an inheritance and he or she got given money and they don't know what it really means to take and make money. Though that's a different story, because I know very wealthy people, friends of mine, have been given millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they come from rich families. They're living a different world. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not one of them. I've had to work for everything I've got in life, and I've lost, made. That's another thing that rich people do as well. We learn, but did you learn from that? So I want to ask you today is this: if you really are serious about making money, if you're really serious about making a difference, if you're really serious about taking in time and making an impact in your life for your future generations, number one, it's going to take time. It doesn't come overnight. Listen, I wish we could all win the lottery and be rich. It's not going to happen for most of us. The stats are very, very slim for most people. So are you willing to take some time, invest some years, be honest with yourself, look at where you're spending money, and instead of just being emotional about everything you do, think things through. Can you get a group of some people, and could you have a group of people that you can go to, that you can count on, and when you're with those people, you count on them and you can ask them honest questions for support? If you don't have that, hey, comment. I'll be glad to see what I can do to help you with those areas. I'll leave you with another thought as I go and say this. A good buddy of mine one day came to me and he didn't have the money to start a business. He didn't have it. He was short by about $50,000. I remember he called me and he said, Brian, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I can't do it. Hey, the guy who has the business, he'll hold this note for this amount of money, but I need $50,000. And I remember where I was. I was at a friend's daughter's wedding in Boca Raton, Florida. I can remember the store I was in. It was a hot, humid day in August 2 years ago. And I said to him, listen, man, you've got to figure out a way. Who can you go to who could lend you that $50K? And you know what? I said, listen, you want more. Now, actually, I know this is going a little longer than planned, but let me say this to him. He had a really good career going where he was at. And, he was making six figures. And I looked at him and I said, listen, you got it. We FaceTimed each other. I said, you got to make a decision. You got to ask yourself this question. You're in a good career right now. You're making good money for yourself. You're in demand. People want you. Do you really want to own your own business? Or would you like to stay where you're at? Because it's respectable to stay where you're at. And he said, Brian, mentally I've crossed that line. I want to own my own company. So I said, you've got to call everyone you know, and you've got to find out and ask who will lend you. Maybe someone $500, maybe $1,000, whatever it might be. And someone lent him $40,000. And he had to come up with terms to pay back that $40,000. And it was more than $40,000. But and somehow in that couple-day period of time, he also figured out how to come up with an extra $10,000 himself by selling this, moving that, getting rid of this, getting rid of that. Crap he didn't need. And today, you know what? He not only owns one location, but he owns multiple locations. And he said it was the greatest thing he ever did, even though it was the most fearful thing he ever did. And he had to get rid of possessions he thought were big, but he had to get rid of those possessions so he could have his dream and his future businesses today. He had to get over his ego and pride and be able to ask people for help, but he did. And today, he's an extremely successful business person. So listen, I just want to encourage you, be honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Find out what you want. Think smart. Don't let emotions continue to control you. And if you're enjoying this, follow, like, share, comment. Guys, follow, like, share, comment. We welcome comments. Look forward to comments. And if you know someone needs to hear this, share it. We need that. We appreciate you. If you have any things you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment. We'll help you any way we can. Have a great night. Thank you for watching Valuable Minutes with Brian. If this is your first time being with us, please make sure you follow, like, and share, and feel free to comment as well.